How's everybody doing this Sunday morning? Everybody's here now. We've got YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok all joining us this morning. How y'all doing? I'm Walter, independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel, and every Sunday morning we like to get together to answer your questions about all things cruising. We'll do our best. We'll do our best to answer. We don't have them all, but if we don't have the answers now, we'll certainly work to get them. My goodness, we got a whole bunch of people over here on YouTube this morning. Sue's here, Rick, Diabetic, Eric, Tara, Gary, Mimi, Joe's here, Bobby's here, Kurt, Sue, Becky, Bill's fan, Norma, Fred. Hey, everybody. And those of you who were on our Margaritaville cruise a week ago, oh my goodness, thank you so much for joining us. What an amazing cruise that was. We even had a vow renewal with the captain. Oh my goodness. Hey, Cheryl's here. Cindy's here. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hey, by the way, I want to remind everybody, because I know some folks try to ask us questions about Virgin Voyages on TikTok. If you use the word virgin, TikTok's going to block that question. That's not us doing it. So just use VB if you want to ask questions about Virgin Voyages. So, all righty then. Wow, we already got a question. Mike wants to know. He's going on a Mardi Gras next week. Great ship, Mike. Great ship. Your check-in is 10:30. Can you go at 10? The ship's probably not going to be ready. The ship won't be ready probably until closer to 11. That particular ship, I'm trying to remember when we started boarding. I think it was closer to 11:30 by the time we actually got on the ship.
We were in the second boarding group.
Yeah, we were in the second boarding group. So you could go at 10.
But you'll be waiting.
Yeah, you'll just be waiting in the terminal. That's all. But yeah, no, you can totally go at 10 o'clock for sure. Oh my gosh, how's everybody doing? Hey, Mushki is back. How you doing, guys? Good to see everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, those chat filters can be a little tough. And like I said, if you're watching us on TikTok, you want to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, just use the letters VV. It's so easy to do. We've got some big exciting news today. We've got a new group cruise. If you're in our private Facebook group, you already know what the cruise is, but so many people have been asking us about Europe. Let's go to Europe, Walter. Why aren't we going to Europe? Stop going to the Caribbean.
It took a long time to get this figured out.
It did. And you know, it's really funny. We were dancing around a whole bunch of different cruises. And hey, Frana, you were one of the ones that renewed the vows. I'm telling you, I'm going to step back for just a second. We were on the Margaritaville Islander for 6 nights with a vow renewal cruise. It was Valentine's Day, so of course we arranged a vow renewal with the captain. Our representative Joanne was on the ship. She made that group phenomenal. Pretty much every day we had like a 1-hour event. We had the Coral Reef Lounge up in the front of the ship. So we had trivia, we had games, we had Tony and Jenny B from Loca hosted a meetup. And then of course we had that vow renewal. I would guess we had over 100 people show up for that. We had about 160 people in the entire group. And I would guess over 100 people showed up for the vow renewal, and Captain Theo just did a phenomenal job. In fact, he didn't believe me that everybody was getting their vows renewed. He's like, really? Everybody? I said, yes, everybody. And he was so much fun. He injected some humor, some personal stories. Oh, he was just absolutely fabulous. So everybody who joined up with that cruise and came with us, very, very big thanks to all of you. And I hope you all had an amazing time. I really do. So for the next hour and a half, we're going to be answering your questions. So just shoot them out. We're happy to help out. As always, my lovely wife, Rebecca, sitting right off camera. And if we can help you in any way with your travels, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you. And of course, we have amazing travel partners. We've got Sean and Stef. We've got Lido, Loca, and we have Cruise RX. If you mention that any of those people referred you to us, we give a portion of our commission to those channels to help support those channels. So they're amazing travel partners, and we're honored to represent them and to help support them as well. So it's awesome. Nurse Tara sees that Virgin Voyages will have the Valiant Lady in New York City in April of 2026. She's making a crossing. Yeah, she's making a crossing. I don't know how long she's staying there, but she is making a crossing that is going to end up in New York City. They're going to start moving some of these ships around now. Obviously, Brilliant Lady is the one that can go back and forth between the East and the West. But they're doing a nice job of moving the ships around. What they're doing is that the short ship, like the starter ship, if you will, the 4s and 5s. They're rotating that out. So it was Scarlet Lady for the longest time, and then it was a Valiant Lady for a couple of years. Now they're thinking, you know what? About every year we're going to try and rotate the short ship out. So to the starter ship, so everybody gets to try, each of the 4 ships. I think that's a pretty good idea, rather than there's always Scarlet Lady or there's always Valiant Lady. So the shorter 4s and 5s next year are going to be Resilient Lady. That's a great idea. So yeah, so they're moving ships around. It'll be nice if they have a longer New York City season, because it would be nice to keep it up there for a little bit longer. But yeah, we will wait to see what happens with Virgin. And of course, speaking of Virgin, we do have that amazing October group cruise. I'm going to go ahead and just run through our group cruises real quick while we're getting started. Hey, Cheryl, as a single mom and daughter duo, will safety be an issue for us if we do things without a group of people for the Europe group cruise? That's a really good question, Cheryl. As with any travel, you always have to be aware of your surroundings. It doesn't matter if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in Orlando, Florida, if you're in Europe. In Europe, the biggest problem is the pickpockets, especially Italy is well known for pickpockets. There's a couple other areas well known for pickpockets. So you see a lot of people wearing those, over the chest, almost like a fanny pack, but you wear it over the chest.
Bags.
Yeah, crossbody bag. That's it. Couldn't think of the term. Thank you. So that is like a big thing in Europe, just to help with the pickpocketing.
And you need to get a crossbody bag that has some, they have ones that have, like, I think, metal filament or something in the straps, so they can't slash the straps and take the bag.
Yeah.
RFID protection is also good, because they can use those little scanner things to
get your credit card.
Get your credit card number without even taking your credit card.
Right.
So just, be prepared. That's all.
Yeah, be prepared. And obviously, being in groups, being in numbers is always better than being completely on your own. Being on a planned tour is always better than being completely on your own. But, our dear friend Stephanie, who is a solo traveler, she goes out on her own all the time. She's just very, very aware of her surroundings and tries to stay where people are. You don't want to be going out to where there's absolutely nobody around. So, will you be any safer or not safer? I mean, that's it's part of traveling today, unfortunately. You do just have to be very aware of your surroundings. So, yeah, if you guys wanted to come and join with us, that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, one of the things about the group is that, like, we didn't plan any group excursions when we were on the Margaritaville. We just kind of let everybody do their own thing. But the nice thing is, we'll set up a Facebook page, and you might be able to ask other people, hey, who's doing this, who's doing what? And, maybe you all can just kind of connect up together. So, hey, good morning, Silver Librarian. Good morning, Nay Nay. If I missed some of y'all, hello, everybody on TikTok. Sorry if I'm missing some of y'all. Deb McGill, let's see. Are we hearing that the quality of the Cunard QM2, the Queen Mary 2, is not up to standard, especially if you are not a girls customer? I've been planning this TA as a 30th anniversary cruise, but you're skeptical. I mean, if you're going by Cruise Critic, if you go on Cruise Critic, every cruise line is terrible right now. I mean, every last one of them. Doesn't matter which one. If you go into the Regent 7 Seas board, Regent is slipping horribly, according to a lot of people in there. So you have to take a lot of things with a grain of salt. Now, the Queen Mary 2, she is due for a refurbishment for sure. I haven't necessarily heard anything that, the quality is slipping or the quality is no good on the Queen Mary 2 myself. So I can't personally say that anybody has complained to us that the quality is slipping. I have not noticed. So we have forums. There's about 5,100 travel agents in the KHM travel group that I work under. I haven't really seen anybody mentioning anything about the QM2 slipping, but it's a ship I certainly want to go on. I don't know if anybody's been on the QM2 recently. Certainly jump in and say hello.
You're jealous of John here.
I know John Winslow is on Explorer 1 right now. John, I'm incredibly jealous. Certainly go have a Let's see, which one did I like? The Guatemalan coffee. Go have a nice Guatemalan coffee for me while you're there. I'm incredibly jealous. But let me walk through the group cruises, and then we'll talk about the newest one. The big one we were talking about, Virgin Voyages, just a few minutes ago. We have Quebec to Miami. This is going to be an amazing cruise. This is coming up in October this year, October 3rd through the 16th. 2025. We're going to be on the all-new Brilliant Lady. I think it's going to be like the 5th cruise for the Brilliant Lady, so literally brand spanking new. We're going to board the ship in Quebec on October 3rd. We'll go to St. John's, New Brunswick. We'll go to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Eastport, Maine, Boston, Massachusetts, Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to be so awesome before we finally come into Miami. That's going to be 13 nights from October 3rd through the 16th of 2025. All of these cruises that I'm telling you about, you can go to our website. There's a group travels link, and you may have links in the description wherever you're watching me right now as well. Of course, we're still going strong with the Lido Loca Philly group cruise. That's going to be the first cruise out of Philadelphia, I don't know, 20, 30 years, something like that. Going to be the Norwegian Jewel, April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. Philadelphia, Bermuda, and Charleston. So basically the Lido Loca Triangle. There will be group events on there for sure. Still to be determined with Tony and Jenny B. So that's going to be October 16th to the 23rd on the Norwegian Jewel. Tony and Jenny B also have a Canada group going out this year. October 11th through the 18th, 2025. You can go on the Enchanted Princess round trip New York City. That's going to be New York, Newport, Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts, Portland, Maine, St. John's, New Brunswick, and Halifax, Nova Scotia. We'll basically be waving to you guys as we go south on the Brilliant Lady. And there is an optional 7-night history tour that you can add to that one. Of course, we still have some slots left. If you want to go to Alaska in June and you want to go to Alaska on a very, very small ship, this is the Oceania Riviera, only 1,200 passengers. June 26th through July 8th. So we'll be celebrating the 4th of July up in Alaska. June 26th through July 8th, 12 nights, 8 ports, a whole bunch of ports. Pretty much pick a popular port in Alaska. We're probably going there. And what's really cool is we have stops up to 14 hours. So like Victoria, which is usually just a token little 3-hour stop. We're going to be there for 12 hours. So we still got some. We don't have group rates for most of the ship anymore, but Oceania has rates that are like really, really close to what we had before. So it's really good. The one we're so excited about is Hawaii. If anybody wants to go to Hawaii with us, we're going to be on the Emerald Princess, February 4th through the 20th, 2026. And we're going to tack on, we're waiting for the hotels to open up, but we're going to Disneyland for 3 or 4 days because it's the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. I've never been, so we can't wait to go. That's going to be Los Angeles, Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, and then Ensenada on the way back. Cabin life, can't wait for Hawaii. I can't wait for Hawaii. That's going to be so freaking beautiful. And then last but not least, the brand spanking new cruise that we're just announcing today. You guys have been asking for it. You said, Walt, let's go to the Mediterranean. Can we please go to the Mediterranean? Let's go to Italy. We're going to Italy. We're going to Italy and Croatia in October of 2026. It's going to be October 23rd through November 2nd. It's a late one. So one of the cool things about this is basically after the season. So there won't be crowds there anymore. The heat of the summer should be gone by that point. So we're going to start in Ravenna, which is about 2.5 hours away from Venice. So, Venice would be your home. We're planning to go spend a couple of days in Venice prior, and I would certainly encourage you to come along early. But we're going to leave from Venice. We'll go to Split. We'll go to Dubrovnik. Go to Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, which will be Florence and Pisa, and then Civitavecchia, which is your home port to Rome. Now that's where the group cruise ends. And our group rates, the way celebrities doing group rates these days, is they're applying a group rate to the all-included package. So you can save up to $600 for the stateroom, booking the group through us, but that only applies to the all-included package pricing. That does not include, that is not the standard rate. So the standard rates are prevailing rates, but if you want to step up to the all-included, which is the basic Wi-Fi and the classic drinks package, you save up to $600 over the public rates on that. And it is booking right now. There is a link on our website that you can go ahead and sign up for it. You can authorize your payment. Between our group and our headquarters group, we've got a whole bunch of staterooms that you can choose from. We're just like so freaking excited. And here's the cool thing. That's not, if you're watching us where you can see the graphic, there's something that's not on that graphic. This cruise ends in Civitavecchia on November 2nd. The ship is then going to do a transatlantic from Civitavecchia to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And she's going to be making 4 stops. I didn't bring the stops out here with me. I should have brought that up there.
There's some Spain. There's Tangiers, Morocco.
Yeah.
St. Martin.
I think it was Valencia, Malaga, Morocco. So if you wanted to stay on the ship and do a 25-day Mediterranean journey that's going to end up in San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is what we're planning to do. Yeah, that'll be like amazing. And I can tell you right now that the price of the transatlantic is like half the price of the Mediterranean. So if you did the whole thing without the all-included package, and you say you did an inside, I think you could do the whole thing for like $4,000, something like that, $4,000 or $5,000. It's absolutely crazy. So that is the new group cruise, folks. We're going to Europe in 2026. So yay! So, Lufran, you want to go to Hawaii too? You should come with us. You should absolutely come with us. Carmen, how do you get information on the Hawaii cruise? I don't think there's a direct link on TikTok. You're watching me on TikTok, but there is a link to our webpage. And on our webpage, which is where'swaltertravel.com, there is a menu tab, group travel at the very top. Just click that, and then you will see the Hawaii cruise. There's a link to the Hawaii cruise right there. So wherever you're watching me, I know there's a link to our website. Some of you have direct links to the various group cruises. But if you don't, just simply go to my website, click the link. All the pricing is there. Keep in mind, actually, the pricing for Hawaii is not there. I set that up differently. So, but the pricing for the Med is there. The pricing for the Brilliant Lady is there. The pricing for Tony's Enchanted Princess cruise is there. Some of the other ones you have to reach out to us for the pricing. So, hey, Alex, I'm glad you're here. Sue and Phil is here. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Aaron. Good to see you. But yeah, so that is the new group cruise. This is the number one thing that people ask for. Hawaii was up there, and that was one that we really wanted to do. So we set up Hawaii first. But then we spent a lot of time on this one. We were looking at some of the smaller cruise lines as well. We were just concerned that, a lot of people wanted to come, and the pricing was a bit higher on some of those. So we wanted to get something that was a really good itinerary, a smaller ship, and yet was affordable to so many of you guys, reasonable price to so many of you guys, because we wanted as many of you to come as possible. We really, really enjoyed that. So, Eric, will the European cruise have solo cabins? I mean, Celebrity does not have solo cabins. They sometimes have solo rates.
Not on that classic ship.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, on that class of ship, they don't have solo cabin, but there are sometimes solo rates, and I just didn't check that particular sailing, but we can take a look to see what's available on there. Mr. Beast, looking for a great cruise line for a solo traveler. Would I recommend Virgin or stick to a cheaper line like Royal or Carnival? That's totally up to you, because you have to look at what's included. So your top, the 2 cruise lines that really cater to solos would be Virgin Voyages and Norwegian. Those 2 absolutely cater to solos with actual solo staterooms. Explorer Journeys is also running 0 solo supplement. Crystal's running 0 solo supplement too.
On
those
certain cruises.
Yeah, on certain cruises as well. And obviously those are more expensive. So what you have to look at is, well, what are you getting? So when you go on Royal Caribbean and Carnival, you're getting a room. That's all you get. When you go on Virgin Voyages, you're getting gratuities, Wi-Fi, all of your meals are included, the soft drinks are included, and the group exercise is included. So right off the bat, while Virgin costs more up front, you're getting more for your money. So when you go on Royal Caribbean and you want to match up with what you're getting with Virgin, then you have to get the Wi-Fi package, the drinks package. You'll want to buy a specialty dining package. And
add the gratuities.
And then see where Royal Caribbean lands next to Virgin Voyages, because it's cheaper, but you're not getting as much for your money. And I can tell you that I can put you on Virgin Voyages sometime for less than a Royal Caribbean balcony. So Royal Caribbean has gotten a little more expensive. So just looking at the base price doesn't tell the whole story. And then you've got a Celebrity has solo rooms on their Edge class. Princess barely has a few solo cabins on the Sun Princess, but Princess does very often offer very good solo pricing, just unadvertised. They really don't advertise that they're doing like, maybe a 75% or a 50% solo supplement versus 100%. So that can always be good. Oh, hey, Michael, how are you? Good. Good to see you, man. So sorry. Yeah, so those are some of the solos to look at. I mean, Eric and Alex, who are right below you in the comments, those are two solo travelers that we work with quite a bit. So Alex is asking if we've cruised in Europe before. No, this would be our first time. We've had it planned. We actually had it booked once, and then we were planning it a second time, but both times just didn't happen. So the original plan was to kind of go over and maybe do a river cruise, maybe do a land tour with the ocean cruise. And then we kind of saw this when I saw how late the Constellation, well, the one Rebecca picked was earlier in the season. And then I noticed that they had one late. And I was like, geez, that is really late in the season. I wonder if the ship is coming back after that particular sailing. And when I saw that the two lined up, always wanted to do a transatlantic. So there you go. So we're going to do a Mediterranean cruise and we're going to do a transatlantic crossing all in one shot for us. I anticipate most people are probably going to book that 10-day cruise. Like we've got Betty and Jim are here. They're going to go on the Mediterranean cruise and then they're going to go spend some time in Rome after the Mediterranean cruise. And I expect a lot of people are probably going to do that. We may end up like flying into Rome, spend some time in Rome, then go up to Venice, but who knows? But I definitely want to spend some time in Rome, in Venice before the cruise, because it looks absolutely beautiful. So, Stefan, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Edge class ships do have some solo cabins. Believe it or not, Royal Caribbean has about 225, I believe, across the fleet, solo cabins. Holland America has solo cabins, if you know where to look for them. And a few others have some solo cabins, kind of scattered throughout. Oceania has solo staterooms as well. So yeah, so there's actually a lot more solo cabins out there than you might realize. We've got a whole list of them so that we know, oh yeah, that's right, these ships have solos, those ships have solos. There's even some solo balconies out there on Royal Caribbean you may or may not know about. It's really cool.
But I would encourage you, even if you're looking at a solo room, make sure to look at what it costs to get a standard room for just one person, because sometimes the price is not that much different. And every now and then I've seen it where the solo room costs more for one person than a regular room for one person.
Yeah, we see that all the time on Virgin Voyages and Norwegian, especially Virgin. Virgin, a lot of times, if I put you in the Sea View, which is a two-person room versus the solo Sea View, almost every time the regular Sea View is cheaper. Don't understand why. And so, of course, we're just going to go ahead and book you into the regular Sea View. So, yeah. If you booked specialty dining night and time and you want to change, can you do it online or when you're on board? I don't know that you can do it on, I think online you would have to cancel and rebook, like if you did it through the app or your own account.
There's a few of them, it depends on the line, but there are a few lines where you can try and make changes, but you just have to look at however you booked it, whether it's through the app or the website, to see if there's a change feature
and if
modify feature.
You could always try calling the cruise line too to see if they can go ahead and make
but certainly
change.
You can do it while you're on the ship.
Yes. So keep in mind though, if you wait until you're on the ship, your choices may be extremely limited, especially depending on like the size of the ship and how many people are on the ship. So if it's something you want to change, if you're working with a travel agent, let them know, or just go ahead and reach out to the cruise line directly and ask if they can change it. They should be able to change it. The phone agents should be able to change it for you.
Although I will say, generally, if you're a late night eater, that's the easiest times to get. If you eat like 8:30 and later.
Yeah, that's really easy to get. But if you're looking at, say, between 6 and 7:30, that can always be.
Oh yeah, those are prime times.
Yeah, those are prime time. So yeah, so it just depends on like how many restaurants you have on the ship, how big the ship is. If anybody's trying to join me to co-host, it's not happening. So you can just forget about that. Alex, thank you, Alex, for the kind words. I was able to get him upgraded from an ocean view to a balcony for the same price and more specialty dining credit and onboard credit. Yeah, so what happened in that case, that was kind of interesting. Norwegian has changed from free at sea to more at sea, and they were running this ridiculous special. I've honestly never seen the rates drop this much on a single room. But Alex's ocean view was far more expensive than the balcony after the new pricing. So we got him changed. Into the balcony, and since we had to refare him, he went from free at sea to more at sea. So now he got the added benefits of the new dining package that comes with the balcony, and there was some extra onboard credit that was part of it all too. So that's the thing that you got to watch for, and a lot of people don't know that. It's like, hey, the price went down. Can you check it? I just had somebody do that the other day, and the thing is, when the price goes down, there's a new promotion in play. And whatever you had with your stateroom before is going to go away if I refare it. So sometimes it's not worth doing the refare. Like I have guests right now who have over $400 of onboard credit on Princess, but the rates have gone down so far that it might be better to go ahead and refare them all. And then I've got other guests that say, hey, it went down, $50. I'm like, yeah, but you got $150 of onboard credit. If I refare it, you're going to lose $150. So fare goes down by 50, but it's a net loss 100 for you. So you always kind of got to look. And in Alex's case, it was definitely a good deal for him to go ahead and make that change to the deal. But that's one of the nice things about having a travel advisor too, is that, we go in there and look, and we don't just blindly make the change. We look at everything just to make sure, okay, you're still getting a good deal on everything. So Jennifer said spending a few days in Venice and boarding the ship will be so much fun. There was a small ship near your hotel when you were there last year. That's the thing. That was the other thing too. We were looking at the small ship because they do dock right in, not in Venice, but right across the bay. So like Explora, Azamara, some of the smaller Oceania ships, they can go all the way up basically to Venice, because Venice is right across the bay. And we were looking at that. Now, Ravenna is about 2.5 hours away from Venice, and we know that. And it might be one of those things where maybe we're just going to go to Ravenna the night before, and that's where we're going to spend the night. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about traffic getting there and all that good stuff. If there's bad traffic, fine. It's the day before. And that's actually what we recommend to most folks. If you're sailing out of Venice, and it's really Ravenna, go to Ravenna the night before. So and you're already there. There's
another quote unquote Venice that's far away.
Trieste.
Couldn't remember which one it was.
Or Trieste or whatever. So Eric says, I'm kind of amazing. I booked him a balcony that was cheaper than the interior solo. I like to think I'm kind of amazing too. Thank you for validating that, Eric. I appreciate that. Good morning, Big Bob. You just got off the Icon 2 weeks ago, and you're boarding the Jewel of the Seas April 17th. Just a slight difference. So the funniest thing for us, and it was almost a back-to-back. What did we do before the Icon? It was like right before the Icon.
Oh,
what was that little ship we went on? Yes, it was the Oceania Sirena. So we went from the Oceania Sirena to the Icon.
I mean, there was like a week or two in between, but
the Oceania Sirena, that's 30,000 gross tons. You can just pick that thing up and drop it right into the middle of Central Park on the Icon. It was like, oh my God, I really wish it was a back-to-back where we walked off the Sirena and walked straight on to the Icon. That just would have been hilarious. But you're going to have a great time on the Jewel of the Seas. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're still enjoying all of the carnivals. Yay. Andrea wants to know, how is the Jewel of the Seas? Is it old? I kind of laugh when people go, is it old? I mean, ships are designed to run for like 30 years or so. So, yeah, I think the Jewel is pushing maybe 15 years or so. But they go in every 5 years for a refurbishment. And then they go in every 10 years for a big refurbishment. So she's a great ship. She's a smaller ship. We just saw her recently, actually. Can't remember where. but we saw her on one of our travels recently. So yeah, she's a smaller smaller ship. Is it the Jewel class? What is the class of that one? I can't remember the name of the class. Radiant. Is it Radiant's class? Maybe it's Radiant's class. But she's a lovely ship. I mean, that's one of the cool things about Royal Caribbean is they really have a ship for everybody. So the thing about the Jewel is that was the class right before they brought out the Royal Promenade. So there's no Royal Promenade on that ship. She looks more like, a standard cruise ship. And she doesn't have as many venues. She certainly doesn't have all the top deck stuff that all the other ships have. I think she has a rock climbing wall. That's really the extent of what she has on top. But that's good. It's a good sailing ship. And the nice thing about her being smaller is that they can send her to places that the other ships can't go. So like Icon can't get to half of the ports that Jewel can go to. So you really go on the Jewel of the Seas for the itineraries. They have better itineraries on their smaller ships than they do on the bigger ships, because the bigger ships are just limited. I mean, look at San Juan. I don't know if their Oasis class is able to dock there yet because they're working on stuff. Meanwhile, all the other ships are just going right on in, no problem. They just can't handle the really, 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 really big stuff. So yeah, I think I think it's a great little ship. Now I just forgot Big Bob's going on there in a couple weeks. So yeah, I would encourage you to go try the ship. Absolutely. Let's see. Dale's getting on the Escape. Oh, we love the Escape. Please go try out the Food Republic. Great restaurant. And my favorite bar was Tobacco Road. I thought Tobacco Road was one of the best bars at sea. Really, really, really good. Let's see. You went on the Mardi Gras recently. You loved it. Now we're thinking about booking Celebration, better or the same. I mean, it's newer, so they've made some tweaks to it. The Jubilee is the one that has the most changes to it because she's a third in the class. But I think what I like about the Celebration is I like what they did with the terminal. I think it's more interesting than the French Quarter. I think it's much more interesting than the French Quarter. It's basically the same ship, though. It's the Jubilee where they kind of started to tweak it, and I think the next two coming are going to be changed even more. So let's see, Lufran. How much vibration is there in the aft cabin on the Celebrity Constellation when docking? I mean, when docking and usually when coming in for docking is not quite so bad. Well, actually, yeah. I take that back. When coming in for docking, it's usually worse because they really got to push the ship over. How much vibration is going to be on that specific? It just depends on the dock we're going into and what the weather conditions are and the current and all that. Like how hard they need to push the ship to get it in there. Usually coming out is usually not all that bad. They just kind of. But I mean, if you're just talking about docking and going in, that's a very minor part of the cruising. So
and quite often, unless you're a really late sleeper, they're going to be docking after probably most people are awake anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, there are some times where they come in at like 7, 8 a.m. But
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are up before 9.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any more or less vibration. I mean, when we were on the Azamara journey, the bow thrusters were literally right below us. Now that was vibration. When those suckers kicked in, holy crap. It was just like, da, 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 da. It was like the most vibration I've ever felt. But it was hilarious. I mean, if you didn't need a quarter, you got about a buck's worth of vibration if you just laid on the bed when we were going in. Because we were literally right on top of the bow thrusters. I think they were 2 decks below us. And that was a lot of fun. That was absolutely hilarious. So I loved it. Scott giving us some nice shout outs there for being a travel advisor. I really appreciate that. Actually, next week, starting Sunday, next Sunday, we are going to be attending our annual conference and celebration for KHM Travel Group. We're actually nominated for 2 awards. Thanks to all of you guys. Virgin Voyages Travel Agent of the Year and Rising Star Agent of the Year. That's all thanks to you guys. Really appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to be hanging out with our whole KHM tribe from Sunday to Thursday right here in Orlando, which is kind of nice. We're going to be down at Disney Springs, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, but thank you, Scott, for the shout out. We enjoy what we're doing, and I hope it shows. I mean, we really love this. I mean, we really love cruising and we love travel. So we love helping you guys find all of your travel. So thank you. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, everybody, for your kind words. Betty believes there's a train from Ravenna to Venice. I believe there is. Let's see. Here's a group question. Okay, there you go. You got a group question going. Yeah, I love the vibration. All right. Let's see. Oops. Did something bad there. All right. You're going on the Carnival Dream with friends and a couple. And a couple that you met on your last cruise in October. That is one of the coolest things about cruising, the friends that you make. And then you start meeting up with them. We've got a couple of friends that we've met on the cruise. I've got a brother from another mother that I met on our Panama Canal cruise that we still stay in touch with. Just so wonderful. You just cruised on the Venezia, best cruise you've been on. Oh, the Carnival Venezia is one of those ships I really want to get on. And she's right here. I mean, we just need to run down to Port Canaveral. I don't know why we haven't run down there yet, but we've got to go down there. She looked beautiful.
We've been busy.
No, we haven't. We haven't been doing anything. No, just kidding. Yeah, we've been ridiculously busy. Have not been able to get away. And of course, we've been hosting group cruises. I just hosted 2 group cruises in a row. Luckily, not doing those for a little while. Take a little break. Group strap Trans-Pacific in April. I know you're doing the Aqua class. Imagine that, an Aqua class for I think 17 days. Oh, you are just going to be like, you're going to be so sad to leave that spa after 17 days. I know. How will the Star of the Seas showcase sailing be different from the inaugural sailing besides ports? Well, we're going to be, Star of the Seas. Yeah, that's the one we're doing. Yes.
You are. I'm
going to be on the Star of the Seas with Stephanie. I'm so excited. We're going to be on the inaugural, the 7 nights. I mean, the main difference is just going to be lack of time. You know, we did a preview cruise last year that was 3 nights, and it was insane trying to see everything. That's really the only difference. Though the 2 showcase sailings are going to be shakedowns, so everything may not be operational. Things may not be operating well. So they're trying to make sure that the ship's going to function well for the actual 7-night inaugural. That's really it. But it's just really going to be a shakedown. Those are going to be the 2 shakedown cruises, just like the preview cruises last year. Not everything was operational. Not everything was working perfectly. Last year they did a media sailing, they did a preview sailing, they did this, that, and the other. The other difference is they're charging this year. Last year, they invited a lot of people to come on to do the shakedown and get everything figured out. I guess they figure, well, we got that figured out on the Icon. So they're just going to be shorter cruises. That's all. Yeah. So Barbara had a great time on the Islander. Yay! I'm glad you had a good time on the Islander. You know, that really is a fun ship. I know people still like to pick on Margaritaville, but they've got something going on with the Islander. And we were told during our time in the Speakeasy that ship number 3 is coming either the end of this year or early next year. So Margaritaville is not going anywhere. They're expanding into another ship. Go figure. That's going to be amazing. So so the product itself is great. Still waiting for better support for travel agents. On the travel agent side, the support's not quite there. So at the moment, we've kind of slowed down. I would have loved to have put another group on there. We've got a couple of groups that we've been talking to, but it's on the back end. Everything is just so manual labor intensive, and there's so much that travel agents can't do that we're used to doing on all the other cruise lines. You know, on every cruise line, we can make the bookings, we can manage the bookings, we can do a lot of stuff for you guys. But with Margaritaville right now, as a travel agent, there's not a lot we can do. And when you're trying to manage a lot of folks, it really makes it difficult to do that. So I'm looking forward to Margaritaville getting their systems up and running to where we can better support them. But yeah, it's a great product. If you have not been on the Islander yet, you really should. It's a great, great product. So yeah. Let's see, Diabetic Legend of the Seas trying to steal some of the Star of the Seas spotlight. They've got to get them out there at least a year out so they can start booking the darn thing. So yeah. The Legend of the Seas. I can't believe they're sending it to the Mediterranean. I don't really know. Well, but then again, the Oasis goes. So wherever the Oasis is going, I guess that's where the Legend can go. Because, I mean, it kind of makes sense in one way so that Europeans can see it, right? So Europeans can experience it. They don't have to do the long flight across the pond just to come see the Icon class ship. So it does kind of make sense. It's making me wonder if at some point will they try to start creating private resorts in Europe, like what we have here in the Caribbean. You got Private Islands, you got Celebration Key on Grand Bahama. Will we start to see something like that starting to appear in Europe? I mean, we've got the World Europa is over there from MSC, Oasis class, now Icon class is coming. Norwegian has their big Prima class ships over there. Is it possible that we might start to see some private destinations pop up that are designed specifically for these really, really big ships? It'll be interesting. So, Stacy, thank you. Congratulations on the TA award. Well, we're just nominated, so we don't know if we're actually going to win. I don't even keep up with that stuff. It was other people who actually emailed me after the fact and said, hey, congratulations on the nomination. And I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? I totally forgot that they were making the announcement that night. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Aaron, you got the roller coasters, water park at sea out of your system. Looking forward to getting back on Princess Discovery. Yeah, the Discovery Princess, beautiful ship, Royal class ship. You're going to have an amazing time on there. Now, speaking of roller coasters, if you haven't looked at the Disney Adventure yet, you're going to recognize that roller coaster that's on the back of the ship, although it's much longer track. It's the same as the Carnival Bolt. However, for people who are saying, well, they just copied Carnival, actually, it existed first on the Disney ship. Not as the Disney ship. It existed first on the Genting World Dream or whatever, Global Dream, World Dream, whatever that ship was called. It was in the original renderings from years ago, and it was that Bolt roller coaster. So Disney now has the Bolt roller coaster on the Adventure. I think it's a Spider-Man or a Marvel. I can't remember who they themed it after, but it's long. That's actually a roller coaster that if there was an upcharge, I would pay to go on that one. I would absolutely pay to go on that one because it looks really, really good. Diabetic, I mentioned that the Legend will eventually move over to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, it's coming to Fort Lauderdale. I think it's Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, it's already on the itinerary, so you can book the Caribbean itineraries for that. Now that would be a heck of a ship to do a transatlantic, man. I mean, my gosh, you've got so much to do on that ship. That would be a fabulous ship to do the transatlantic. So, Nurse Tara wants to know if we're going on to World America. We are. We just haven't booked it yet, but yeah, we're already planning to go on it. It might be one of those things that could be a last minute deal where we just like, oh yeah, let's just go. We got a week. Let's go. But yeah, that looks like a really, really, really fun ship. So Joe's saying that the staff, service and staff enthusiasm on Margaritaville was as good, if not better, than what was on the Sun Princess. I would agree with that. Yeah, it's a really good crew. That's a really fun crew. It's a fabulous crew. Have I heard anything about the Norwegian Aqua? Well, we're going on it May 31st. We've got a group that's going on at May 31st through June 7th, so we're getting ready. Tony had been invited by Norwegian to go on the very, very first sailing. I forget.
Portugal, I think.
Yeah, I think it's in Portugal, something like that. So there's like a couple of sailings over in Europe, and then she's going to come over and do the crossing. So we're getting, I think we're going to be like the 4th or 5th cruise on her out of Port Canaveral. But she looks great. I mean, I'm excited about those. I'm much more excited about the water slides than I was about the go-karts on that particular class of ship. I didn't think the go-karts belonged on that class of ship, but she looks great. The restaurants look good. I mean, everything about that whole Prima class looks great. It's just the venues have been tiny on the Prima class. So that's the one thing that we haven't found out yet. Did they learn from that and make the venues big, like the comedy club and the music clubs and all of that? Have they made them bigger so like people can actually get in them? That is the question that we're still waiting on. So they need a user, I think 6966 something. They need to drop the Paradise, talking about Margaritaville at sea. They need to drop the Paradise, killing their reputation. They have no intention of dropping that ship. I've talked to them about that. I said, hey, when you get a third ship, you're going to get rid of it? And they're like, nope, no, we're keeping that ship because that ship has an audience. They're just refurbishing her again for the second time. They're adding some new restaurants. They're refreshing the rooms.
The reputation killing stuff happened before Margaritaville itself even took over the cruise line.
Yeah, it was Bahamas Paradise. But yes, you're right. The ship is tainted because of all the negative reviews that exist when it first came out. And those reviews were well justified. The ship has gotten better since Margaritaville has taken over. However, I'm not a big fan of 2-night cruises, so I'm not going to be. I don't book anybody on them. The shortest cruises we tend to book. I mean, we do the 3-night. They are doing up to 4-night cruises. I don't see a reason to book anybody on that because it is so small and limited versus putting you on the Islander. I'd rather put you on the Islander for 4 nights or 5 nights. I think you're going to get a much better experience. the ship itself is just so beautiful. So, but they have no intention as of right now of dropping the Paradise. They're going to keep it. Have we been on a Victory Casino cruise out of Port Canaveral? No, and we have no intention to.
We're not gamblers, really.
Well, one, we're not gamblers. Two, the ship looks very unimpressive from the outside. We go by it all the time when we go out on the ships. Three, I worked for Foxwoods Resort Casino, so I know exactly how all of that works. I mean, it's not my jam. If anybody watching this has actually done that Victory Casino, it looks like a rather sad ship to me. Just from the outside, it looks very sad. So yeah, it's not something I'm going to spend money on. I mean, there are casinos in Florida that you can go to, like especially in South Florida. I don't know if there's one around here, but like the Hard Rock has one. So there's other casinos in Florida. I'd probably go to one of those instead. Or what Alabama has them, Mobile. Somebody else had it. Or you can just go on up to Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun. Those are beautiful. Southern Style. You're going May 3rd from Port Canaveral. Can't wait. Glad the go-karts are gone. Oh, you mean on the Aqua? Yes. So
you'll warm up the ship for us.
Yeah, so you'll know about the ship before we do. We're going on May 31st. So yeah, you can get the ship ready for us. Best excursion in Aruba. Ooh, what's a good excursion in Aruba? Wow, it's been a long time since we've been to Aruba.
Well, and most of the stops we've had in Aruba have been fairly short, so we just kind of walked around, did a little shopping.
That's true, because our stops were not very long. So really, I think like maybe 4 or 5 hours. So they were kind of short stops, which is disappointing when you're in a port that short. So my advice is if you're doing, if you're on a cruise that does have one of those shorter stops, certainly book it through the cruise line so that there's like no chance that you're going to be left behind or anything like that. Yeah, we haven't actually booked anything in Aruba. Has anybody watching? Do you got any suggestions for Aruba? I know I've got some things on my list, but I don't have my list handy. That's why we have a list that we can refer to. Y'all like to stump me.
I would suggest perhaps looking on either TripAdvisor or going to Cruise Critic and going to their ports of call section and looking for Aruba. And
Betty, who was watching, I don't know if she's still here, she turned us onto an app called Get Your Guide. Get Your Guide is also a website.com, getyourguide.com, where she was showing us how she can book a lot of tours on there, and then it keeps this whole nice inventory or itinerary of your trips. Now, she said that they have a return to ship guarantee. However, I have not found that on the website. I have not seen that specific thing. Okay, Betty, I know you told me that they have a return to ship guarantee, but I was looking all through their terms and conditions, and I haven't seen that yet. So I don't know if they have something special for cruises. If you can
find it in print, send it along to us.
Yeah, please send it over to us, because that's the one thing. That's the one reason why I haven't really sent that out to people. So yeah. If you have the link to that, because it had a lot of tours that I've not seen on, like Shore Excursions Group and Venture Shore, the two that we recommend, because they do have that return to ship guarantee. But Get Your Guide really had a lot of great looking excursions and tours.
Outstanding.
The selection of tours is outstanding. I would just want to know that they have some sort of a guarantee that, hey, if the tour is late. I mean, Margaritaville actually had a tour that was late in Progresso getting back, and the ship waited about 20 minutes for them to get back onto the ship, because I was looking out. We were dropping some of the ropes already, and I looked over and you could just see the big crowd of people still coming to the gangway. So that's nice with things like that. So you definitely want to make sure that there is some sort of a return to ship guarantee. Nurse Tara said, doesn't Aruba have that cool submarine excursion? A lot of them do. There's multiple types of things that a lot of the Caribbean ports have. They have the quote unquote submarine, where the top of the sub stays above water, but you're underwater. And then they have the diving bell thing too, where some of them you actually walk along the sea floor, and then others, like what we did in St. Thomas, you actually ride an electric scooter with a big diving bell on your head. So yeah, it's very interesting. It is very interesting how all of that works. So Barb Smith said Get Your Guide is wonderful for land tours too. So I'm definitely going to be looking at them. Like, we're going up to Montreal, we're going up to Quebec, we're going to Seattle. We should even look at them in Seattle. Definitely, because we're going to be staying in Montreal for a few days. We're going to be staying in Quebec for a few days, staying in Seattle for a few days before our cruises. So now that we know about Get Your Guide, definitely on the land portion, definitely going to be looking at them. I just want to make sure that on the cruise side, they have the return to ship. Texas Racing, you're used to cruising Disney. You just booked on Royal Caribbean. What are going to be the biggest differences? Oh, well, first of all, Royal Caribbean is.
It depends on which Royal.
Oh yeah,
Caribbean
I don't know
ship
which
about.
I don't know which ship you just booked. Which ship did you book on Royal Caribbean? First of all, but in general, I would say the food quality overall is better on Disney. That's just my opinion. I think the buffet is better on Disney, and then certainly that dining room experience is better on Disney. And of course, you got that rotational dining that's just so freaking cool. But that will be different. Depending on the ship you're going on, Royal Caribbean may have much more to do, especially if you're taking kids on the ship. I don't know if you're going as adults or as a family, but on Royal Caribbean, there tends to be, especially if you go on like Quantum class, Oasis class, now Icon class, or Freedom class and above, especially, there's a lot of things to do, like flow riders and ice skating and just all kinds of stuff going on. The shows, depending on the ship that you're on, you're going to be very surprised at how high quality the Royal Caribbean show. I think Royal Caribbean puts the most money into their entertainment because they've got so many different shows going on across the fleet, even more so than Disney. Disney has fabulous shows on the ships, but I think Royal Caribbean puts even more money into their shows, so they're really, really good. I'm trying to remember how many like music venues and things like that were on Disney. I don't think there's near as many as like Royal Caribbean at night has more music, I think, throughout the ship. It's more adult centric at night, whereas Disney is certainly more family friendly at night. And then, it kind of transitions into the adult friendly as you get in later into the evening. Whereas, with Royal Caribbean, you're going to have more of the like lounge bars kind of things running.
And the specialty dining is open to everybody, unlike Disney.
Yeah, that is the interesting thing. On Disney, specialty dining is adults only. But okay, so you're going on a Mariner Sea. That's great. That's actually one of my favorite ships on Royal Caribbean. That's actually my favorite ship with Royal Caribbean. I think it's just the right size. So when you go to a specialty dining meal on Disney, there's no children. When you go on Royal Caribbean, there will be children. There's no restriction on children there. So you will have to be, prepared for that. But Mariner Seas is great. That was the first that was the first mega ship. Believe it or not, that class was the first mega ship. She's like right around 3,200 people, I think, something like that, maybe 3,500 passengers. But she was the first with the Royal Promenade. She was the first with the ice skating rink, and she was the first with the flow rider. That class of ship was the first with all of those things. It has one of my favorite bars at sea. It has the Bamboo Bar, which is just a lot of fun. It's just a tiki bar. It's a fun little tiki bar. And I know I talk about bars a lot. I don't drink a lot on cruise ship, but when I have a drink, I like to have a good drink. So then that's just a fun environment, great drink. That's where we first had the Dark and Stormy, which is fabulous drink if you like ginger. They have Izumi, which is a great sushi bar. I can't remember the show that's on it right now, but I know it had a really, really good show.
I don't think it's got one of the Broadway shows.
No.
But it does have an original show that was pretty good. Yeah,
so that is really, really good. And it has the flow riders up top. It has the water slide. I think it's got a miniature golf course. But it's a very relaxing ship. It's a nice ship. It's got a little bit of everything. But the Windjammer buffet, it's really good. It's got a lot of variety and things up there. I just think that the quality of Disney's food is better. I mean, you're certainly not going to go hungry. The specialty dining is usually quite good. I don't know if they've added a hooked seafood to that one yet, but if they did,
I think they just have Izumi, both the hibachi, and then there's a counter with sushi. Mm-hmm. And they have, I can't remember which Italian one that they have, and then chops, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. So the specialty dining is usually pretty on point with Royal Caribbean. It's usually quite good. The included food, I mean, you're not going to go hungry. It's not going to be the best. I think the main dining room is incredibly weak across the fleet. On Royal Caribbean, it's not our favorite. We tend to avoid the main dining room on all Royal Caribbean ships because we just don't think it's that great. But we do eat at the buffet quite a bit on Royal Caribbean, and I really do enjoy the specialty dining on Royal Caribbean.
And other thing to be aware of is that sodas are not included on Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, soda's
unlike
not
Disney.
included.
So if your kids drink soda, you're going to probably want to get a soda package. And I believe that ship has freestyle machines in the buffet and then down in the Royal Promenade. So you'll get a cup with an RFID thing on it, and you can get a big variety of sodas.
It's fabulous because they have soda, they have water, they have they have a wide variety of Coca-Cola products in there, and we usually get the Dasani water with some flavor on it. So you're welcome, Christy. I booked you on your very first Disney cruise. Yay! Valerie, you've only been on MSC. That is a fun cruise line, certainly great value for sure. You're welcome, Texas Racing. I hope you guys have a great time on there. What company do we use for travel insurance? Do we buy single trip or an annual plan? That's a great question. We use and we typically send our clients a quote from Allianz, Allianz, Allianz Travel Insurance. And the question of trip or annual. So number one, about that annual travel insurance, that protects all travel as long as you go 100 miles away from your house. So this is not just for buying it for cruises. This is like if you're going on a road trip or you're going on a flight somewhere, you're going on a vacation to the Dominican Republic to an all-inclusive. Annual policies actually cover all of your travel, which is really cool. What it comes down to generally, if you're doing say like 3 major trips a year, that's usually when you start looking at the annual insurance. So the way the annual insurance works is you pick a dollar amount for how much travel you want to insure, and usually it's something like $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, $10,000. That's a one-time. That is a one-time insurance coverage for the entire year. So you've got say $10,000 of travel coverage for the entire year. Now the medical benefits, which I didn't understand this until just recently, the medical coverage is actually per trip. So it's like $50,000 in medical, $250,000 in medical evacuation. Your baggage and all of that other stuff is still also one time. So generally you just kind of look, well, if I'm going on 3 major trips, because the per trip insurance is usually about 10%. That's like a good general guide. It's usually about 10% of the cost of the trip. So a $5,000 trip, generally somewhere around $500. That depends on your age, the state you live in, of how much that's really going to be. And then the policy you actually choose, because per trip, I think we've got like 6 different policies to choose from. If you were to go directly to Allianz's website, I think you've got more choices to choose from. So So that's what we use. There's a great website called insuremytrip.com where you can look at all kinds of various options based on what you've got going on. And but that is what we use. Yeah. Barbara, the Islander needs to move the sushi restaurant so loud from the far side you couldn't hear. We agree with you 100%. And in fact, we made that suggestion to our rep on the ship. What we noticed was in the very back of deck 9, which is the adults only area. And that may be why they won't move it there, because it is adults only. But
how many kids are eating sushi?
Yeah, well, they could be.
I'm not saying they couldn't, but
on the back of deck 9, they have Island Eats and the Tiki Grill, and they used to have them separated, one on either side of deck 9. Now they basically combined them over to one side. So they've got a whole food preparation station just sitting there on deck 9. And I suggested, man, they need to move it there. And plus what we noticed when we went on a couple weeks ago, like the sushi chefs are no longer there. They're like all hiding in the back. So we don't know. Maybe all that stuff is just pre-made, well in advance, and it's just sitting there waiting for us rather than being made fresh. So it is a little bit different. That was a little disappointing to not have the chefs out there
when we did when we did the inaugural cruise. They did not have all those activities going on in the evening.
Yeah.
So it was pretty quiet over there, and that was enjoyable.
So that was really
I agree.
Good.
It was not enjoyable, and I would not. I mean, I liked the food, but I would
Mhm.
not do it again just because it's so noisy.
It was so loud, yeah. And Alex had a follow up to the insurance. Can you change a single trip insurance to an annual plan? I can say with Allianz, what they do is if you decide that you want to switch from a trip to an annual plan, they cancel and give you a full refund on the original trip insurance, and then you buy a brand new annual policy. That's only if you're going to buy the new policy. That's how it works with us. So if you bought the insurance through us, we can actually call Allianz. If you bought it on your own, you just simply call Allianz and say, "Hey, look, I've got a trip policy and I'd like to switch it to an annual policy." They will actually cancel the original policy, give you a 100% refund, and then you just buy the new one.
Which normally it's 48 hours to how long till you can cancel? You can normally when you purchase the insurance.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that, but you can do that at any time. You can do that.
No. I'm
later.
talking if without buying another policy.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that policy. I would have to go check that. I don't know. Let's see. Aaron wants to know if Princess makes a good old fashioned. It depends on the bar. And
the bartender.
And the bartender. Yeah, that day. So it just depends on the bar and the bartender. The best ones are still on Virgin Voyages and Celebrity so far. Although Explorer Journeys made the best smoked one yet. Chuck wants to know if I tried the old fashioned smoker yet. So Chuck was amazing. He brought a cocktail smoker on the ship with him. It was hilarious that he actually brought this thing with him just for me to try out. Chuck, I have not tried. I kept saying, "Oh yeah, I got to try it tonight. I got to try it tonight," and then I'd be working till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I've been working so late. The plan is today finally use it. Yes, I am planning to use it. I will certainly shoot a TikTok of it showing me probably ruining my first drink, but that's okay. I'm going to try it. But thank you again, Chuck, for bringing that. I'm going to try to do it today. Yes, finally today. Nurse Tara loves a good dark and stormy. Can't wait to have one in Bermuda. Where I didn't know it originated in Bermuda. That's great. Thank you for that little tip. Frana says the group cruise aspect was great on Islander. The cabin steward was nowhere for us. Oh, I'm so sorry. The balcony door whistled. I had that. What ship were we on where it was whistling? Oh, we were on Explorer Journeys. And it was doing that. It was just like whistling like crazy.
Unless you had it closed and locked.
Yeah, it was weird. And then the people smoked next to you. So for anybody who is on a balcony and people are smoking next to you, immediately report them. Do not wait. Do not pass go.
Call the front desk.
Call the front desk. They're going to send security up. We've had that happen on multiple ships. And sometimes even after the first time they've been warned, they do it again. And guess what? Security is going to come back again. And they're not going to be nearly as pleasant the second time as they were the first time. So if you're ever on a balcony or you're anywhere on a ship where you see somebody smoking where they shouldn't be smoking, and that does include vaping, let security know. Because that is an absolute danger, a dangerous situation, somebody smoking on a balcony, because more often than not, they like to throw them over the side. And I'm trying to remember the name of the ship. It might have been the Star Princess or something like the old Star Princess, where 100 cabins burned because somebody threw a cigarette over the side and it landed on something on a balcony and just started a fire. And luckily, nobody got hurt, but literally 100 cabins burned down the entire side of the ship. They were able to save the ship, so that was good. But if you're ever out on a balcony and somebody's smoking or they're smoking somewhere on the ship and they shouldn't be, just report them. And security will pay them a visit. And if they have to make a second visit, they're not nearly as pleasant the second time around. So yeah, definitely do that. You're doing the Holland America Koningsdam in July, and next December you're doing the Legend of the Seas. That's awesome. So Holland America is a great cruise line. The beautiful ships. We understand that their food game has been elevated. We have not been on since the restart. We need to get back on there. But before the restart,
2014.
Yeah, the buffet was okay, and actually the buffet was really good. The main dining room was kind of okay, and we've been told that the main dining room is much better now than it used to be, and the buffet is still up to the same standard, so that's really great. But we haven't been on Holland America in a while. It's like so many ships that we need to get on. but at the same time, we're incredibly busy. So I try to limit us sometimes, from going, like if we could, we'd just be on a ship every week, kind of like Paro DJ. They're on a ship every week.
And I will say that, 99% of the cruises we're on, we have to pay for. Sometimes it's slight discount, but quite often it's just regular price, and we have a budget too.
Yeah, there is a myth out there that, travel agents get to travel for free. That is so rare. So rare. We were invited onto the Icon for that two-day preview, and we've
done
invited
the two top 100 cruises.
Yeah. Virgin Voyages invited us twice because we were a top 100. Those are the free cruises, people. Everything else we either paid full price or we may have gotten a slight discount. Like the Star of the Seas inaugural, that's a full price. Stephanie and I are paying full price to go on there. So, we have a budget too. We can't just travel unlimited. I wish we could, but we can't. So. Even though we live so close to some of these cruise ships, I would just love to just run down to Port Canaveral every week.
Holland's definitely on our list.
Yes, Holland is on our list, so we need to get back on Holland America badly. For those of you who have been watching on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, I've been flipping through our group cruises. I'll remind everybody watching on TikTok. If you want to come cruise with us, first of all, go check our website, where'swaltertravel.com. Click on group cruises. There are links to all of the cruises, including the Tony and Jenny B. Lido, Loca cruises. We are their travel partner now. Jenny used to be a travel agent. She has retired now, and they are referring all of their business over to us now. And we're also managing two of their group cruises. So the big one is the Philadelphia cruise. That's going to be April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. It's going to be the first cruise out of Philadelphia in nearly 30 years, something like that. The Norwegian Jewel going to Bermuda and Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to be the Lido Loca Triangle. I swear he's got to make the shirt. He's got to make the shirt for that. Mm-hmm. And then Tony and Jenny B are hosting a group going to Canada, New England on the Enchanted Princess. That's going to be October 11th through the 18th, 2025. New York, Newport, Boston, Portland, St. John, and Halifax. So it is going to be so much fun. We're so proud and honored to be their partner. And of course, the one I really want you guys to come join us, Quebec to Miami. That's going to be absolutely stonking amazing. Oh my goodness, that is just going to be absolutely gorgeous, going out of Quebec and then sailing all the way down to Miami. I've never done anything like that. It's going to be totally unique to us. And the Hawaii cruise too is going to be totally unique. Like, we've never done anything like either one of these cruises. So it's going to be so much fun. Mr. T's using the Cocoa Beach shuttle next weekend based on my recommendation. I love those guys. They're awesome. If anybody's coming in, going to Port Canaveral, of course you're going to fly, and you're flying. You're obviously going to fly into Orlando. Although with the Bright Line now, you could actually fly into Fort Lauderdale and Miami, take the train up. But if you're flying into Orlando and you need to get to Port Canaveral, there is a great family-owned shuttle service, Cocoa Beach Shuttle. They're the ones I recommend because they will pick you up from pretty much any hotel. So like if you fly into Orlando and then you decide, well, I'm going to stay in Orlando for the night, they'll pick you up from pretty much any hotel in Orlando, and then they will bring you to Port Canaveral. They'll also pick you up from the airport and take you to pretty much any hotel in Cocoa Beach. And then they'll pick you up. The last time I looked, it was like $7 per person to pick you up to take you to the ship if you're in Cocoa Beach. So it's actually a really cheap price to take you over there. So yeah, so if anybody's doing that whole Orlando to Port Canaveral and Port Canaveral back to Orlando, Cocoa Beach Shuttle. Really nice people. You can go ahead and reserve your slots right online. Super easy to make a reservation. Really, really nice people. So but yeah, I want you all to come with us from Quebec to Miami. That's going to be beautiful on the all-new Brilliant Lady. We're actually going to be on the Brilliant Lady September 10th, is it? I think it's September 10th. We're the travel agent for a huge conference, a user conference that's going to happen on that ship, September 10th through the 15th. I think it's the 10th through the 15th. I think it's the 10th through the 15th. I have not
actually kept
sailing out of New York. We've never sailed out of New York City, so I'm so excited for our first New York sail away. But we're going to be part of a huge user conference that we're the travel partner for. And then we'll be back on the Brilliant Lady October 3rd and just bring her all the way down to Miami. It's going to be so exciting. And then, of course, the new one that y'all asked for, Best of Italy and Croatia, October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026 on a Celebrity Constellation. That's just going to be unreal. So I hope y'all come with us and join us on some of those group cruises.
Definitely look into a European river cruise for 2027.
Yes, we will. We will. Let's see. Is that Bonnie? I think it is. Can you talk about the key on Royal Caribbean? Do you use the assigned check-in time or go early? If so, how early? So the key is something that you can buy on Royal Caribbean. It is capacity controlled. So when it runs out, it runs out. So what the key offers you is early embarkation. You get to go, I believe it's priority. It's like you go right in either with the suites or right behind the suites.
Right behind the suites. But
yeah, right behind the suites.
At least in Miami, because that's the one time we've done it, they had a separate line. They had one line for suites and they had another line for the key and then another line for everybody else.
Right, right. So you're going to go in right behind the suites and that is going to be, that's going to be early. Obviously. So whatever. So like if you're assigned, say, a 2 o'clock check-in time, you can ignore that. You're going to go in, you can show up whatever the earliest check-in time is for Royal Caribbean for that particular terminal. You can show up at that time. You'll go in the key line and then you will board right behind the suites and all the priority people. So yeah, that is kind of cool. You're going to get on very, very early. Whether it's worth it or not. Let's see. So what all came with that? Did you get Wi-Fi? No. Yeah, yes. You did get Wi-Fi with that. You get to have now the one thing that I would not do the next time, I would not bother going to the main dining room and getting that Chops Grill lunch because it's not Chops Grill. It's the main dining room trying to do a Chops Grill lunch. It was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular, especially if I was on an Oasis class ship or the Icon. I definitely would not do that. If I was on an Oasis class ship, I would probably go to Park Cafe and enjoy a nice casual lunch there. And if I was on Icon, I would go up to the Aquadome Market and get lunch up there instead. I didn't take advantage of the 1 hour, like you got 1 hour on the flow rider, you got 1 hour at the ice rink.
Yeah,
didn't take advantage of it.
Private for just people with a key.
The Wi-Fi was cool.
But the best part was they have a table somewhere where you can drop off your carry-on luggage.
That's the best part.
And it will be taken to your room when the rooms are ready.
Exactly. So that's really nice. So, you're going to walk on the ship, say at 11 o'clock. Well, your room's not going to be ready till 1:30. If you want to, you can just leave all your carry-on bags wherever that designated spot is, and then they will take them up to your room for you, which is actually really nice. That's probably the best part of the whole thing. But yeah, the only thing that I would not do next time would be that key lunch. That was okay. Mike wants to know, am I able to find out the entertainment itinerary for the Mardi Gras cruising out next weekend? It should be on the app right now. I mean, if you're cruising next weekend.
I honestly don't remember if they have that information on the app.
Yeah. If it's not on the app right now, then it will show up on the app when you board the ship. Usually with Royal Caribbean, they have it out like a month out because you can start reserving the shows, especially on the big ships. You can start reserving the shows a month before the ship goes out. Yeah, that's true. We haven't been on for a while.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I don't recall. Well, certainly no entertainment that you had to. None of the shows you had to pre-book. Certainly.
Yeah.
It was just first come first serve. But
yeah.
If you're trying to do it, like figure out the timing of things, you can generally do a search for, I forget what they call their daily little newsletter, but you can do a search for that online and you can get an idea of what times things happen.
Yeah. And I forgot, Nurse Tara is actually going to be on the Brilliant Lady September 10th. She's on that Bermuda run. So we're finally going to meet. Yeah, 'cause the first sailing is on September 5th. That's the first, that's the Mermaiden sailing. And then we're going to be on the 10th that our big group is going to be on having a user conference on the 10th. Absolutely. So yeah, we will finally meet you. What party cruise can we recommend? Utopia of the Seas, 3 nights. Go on Utopia of the Seas for their 3-night. That is a big party cruise from all the videos I've seen.
And pretty much most 3-night cruises that are over the weekend.
Yeah.
Usually that's a Friday to Monday. Most of those have a
especially in
more
Florida.
party vibe.
We understand that the ones out of LA, not as much, but certainly the ones out of Florida. And most of the 3-nighters, I probably not MSC so much, but certainly Carnival and the Utopia of the Seas was pretty much designed to be a party ship. So if you want the ultimate party weekend, it would be Utopia of the Seas, without a doubt, out of Port Canaveral. That would be the one I would book. We still got to do a 4-nighter on there. I want to do a 4-nighter on there and go see her for sure. Again, another ship to go see. And then we got World America to go see. And then we've got Celebrity Apex is coming up here. You're welcome. Yeah. If we can, I haven't said it in a while, but obviously we are your independent travel agent. So if we can help you in any way with any of your travels, we are 100% free. We don't charge anything to you. So we can help you find the perfect cruise or land vacation or, anything. We would love to help you. We have a whole bunch of land partners. That's another thing that we're looking at for a potential group. I don't know if we'll do a group or just let everybody know what we're doing. Say, hey, if you want to come along, you can come along. But we've got a lot of land tours available as well. And I'm looking forward to doing some of those too. We have so much travel to do and so little time. We just need to get at it. Even the birds agree. The birds saying, you got to go. Cabin life on Hawaii. Do we need a visa since stopping in Mexico?
I don't believe Americans need a visa anywhere in Mexico.
Not yet. Anyway.
Well, yeah, true.
Things could change between now and then, with all the political situations going on, things could change. Like right now, you don't need a passport to go into Canada if you're on a closed loop from Seattle. That could change at some point. Mexico could require that, but right now, no. You don't need a visa to get into Mexico on a closed, because again, this is a closed loop cruise. This is going to be starts in Los Angeles, it ends in Los Angeles. We're only going to Mexico because it's required by law for the ship to go to Mexico. Otherwise, they wouldn't even do that. They would just do Hawaii and come back. But yeah, you're talking about the Emerald Princess cruise. Yep. So right now, the answer is no, but everything is subject to change. Just like the UK ETA, originally you needed it just to fly through the UK. And then they're like, oh yeah, wait, no, you don't. If you're just going to be in the airport and then you're going to go out there you go. Any word on Europe group? Yeah, we announced it earlier in the show. We're going to do the best of Italy and Croatia, October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. It's a 10-night cruise. Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, ending up in Civitavecchia, which is your gateway to Rome. And then if anybody wants
Celebrity Constellation.
Oh yeah, this is
Left that part out.
Celebrity Constellation. We have group rates for the all-included package. That's how Celebrity does it. So you can save up to $600 over the public rate if you get the stateroom with the all-included package. And then if anybody wants to stay on the ship with us, Rebecca and I, the very next sailing at the back-to-back, the ship is going to go from Civitavecchia over to San Juan over 15 days. And she's got 4 or 5 stops in Spain, including Valencia, Malaga, going to stop in Tangier, Morocco.
Which is not Spain.
That's not Spain. I know that's not Spain. Rebecca, trying to be a smart ass. I'm going to beat you with my boat.
Ow.
Going to beat her with the boat.
Ow.
But yeah, and then it's going to go to St. Martin before it gets to San Juan. So that's going to be 25 days. 25 days. And the transatlantic crossing is half the price of the Mediterranean cruise. That is another reason
most categories.
Yeah, for most categories. So that is now booking. And if you go on our website, you can find the details about every one of our cruises. There's a group travel link. Just click that, and then there's links to all of the cruises. If you want the pricing or any other information about them, I know Rebecca and I are going to spend some time in Venice before the cruise, since we're not actually going to go, like we might do a day trip up to Rome while the ship is turning over, but
I don't.
It's always possible that. Well, I might, you might not, but I might.
Just because I would be nervous.
No, doing a ship excursion. There's going to be ship excursion going to Rome.
True.
Yeah. So no river cruises yet. That's going to be in 2027. So probably. There's an outside chance it could be 26, but more than likely it'll be 27 that we'll do a river cruise. Might do a couple of river cruises because I really want to do Christmas markets. So maybe do one during the, spring, summer, and then go back and do one for winter. So yeah, I really want to do the Christmas markets so bad. So yeah. Bobby, on Hawaii pricing with Premium Plus, is that for one person or per person? Hawaii, I don't even know if I've got the pricing up there, but any pricing that we show is for the stateroom. And it's not Premium Plus, it's Princess Plus and then Princess Premier. So those are the two. Princess Plus is $60 a day per person. Princess Premier is $90 per day per person. If you go with Princess Premier, it's more or less an all-inclusive cruise except for the excursion. So I don't even know if I have the pricing. I don't think I have the pricing online. But if I've given you some pricing, I always give you the full price. So if you're a solo traveler, that's the full price of the stateroom. If you're 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, whatever pricing we give you, that's the full price of the stateroom.
And if we're pricing Princess, 99% of the time we price it with the Princess Plus.
Princess Plus is the best included package at sea right now outside of the all-inclusive cruises because it includes the gratuities and includes Wi-Fi. So everybody pays gratuities. Almost everybody gets Wi-Fi. If you're going to get those 2 things, you might as well get the Plus because you're more than 2/3 of the way to the Plus. And then you've got the drink package, the coffees, you've got desserts, you've got fresh pressed juices, you got all kinds of stuff. 2 casual meals, you got all the stuff that goes with it. So we really wanted to do a Princess. And like we were looking at Princess in the Med, we just the itineraries just weren't working for us.
Yeah,
didn't like
26, I could only find 2 ships in the Med.
Yeah, they just weren't doing as much in the Med. So yeah. Aaron wants to know: are we doing the transatlantic Italy to Puerto Rico on the Constellation? Yes. So the group rates. And I don't want to confuse everybody. So the group rates are on the 10-day Mediterranean cruise. If you'd like to join us, or maybe you just want to do the transatlantic, then you would fly into Rome. There won't be group rates on that one because the rates are so low already. So if you just want to join us for the transatlantic, you can also do that. Yeah, so you don't have to do both cruises. You can do one or the other. But the group that we're selling is the Mediterranean on the Celebrity Constellation. Barbara wants to go on the Market Cruise. Yes. Jada says Rome is huge. Yes, it is. It is a huge city. If you really want to experience Rome or you want to experience Italy, and you got to do it from the ground. You can't do it from cruise. Cruise ships are great samplers, okay? Cruise ships are great samplers for exploring the area. But if you really want to explore Rome, you really want to explore Italy, you've got to do a land tour. And one of my favorite itineraries that we have right now is still Travel Rero. Rero tours is all inclusive, it's adults only, and it's like 20 people or less. So from the time you land, like you got to pay for your flight there, but from the time you land till the time you leave, they have 7 and 10 night tours. Everything's included. Those are great. And then Trafalgar. Oh my gosh, we've sold a couple of Trafalgar tours recently. Fabulous. So if you really want to see Italy, like Jada said, Rome is huge. Italy is huge. But if you really want to see Italy, you got to do it from the ground. And so, we're going to do, I don't know that we're necessarily going to do a tour, but we'll certainly go over there and do some stuff on land. But we'll let you know if we end up doing a tour as well. So Betty is saying that the all-inclusive Celebrity only has basic Wi-Fi. That's correct. It is basic Wi-Fi and the classic beverage package.
I believe you can upgrade both of those.
Yeah, so the premium Wi-Fi uses Starlink. Does the basic use Starlink? They all use Starlink. It is a Starlink connection that comes into the ship, but they can obviously control the speed. So if you're signing up for basic Wi-Fi, there's going to be speed limits on that.
Oh, and sometimes it's not always the speed that's different. It's that they block you from being able to stream things.
Well, the speed, that's how they do it. They just knock down the speed down too. Yeah. So like you won't be able to use VPNs. You won't be able to stream things like that typically on the basic Wi-Fi. So Robbie, you have cruise comps. Are you guys still able to help us book? I mean, there's no incentive for us to book a comped cruise because we earn our money through a commission. So if you're getting a free cruise, there's honestly, not to be rude, but there's no incentive for us to go ahead and book you. You might as well just go ahead and book directly. because we're not going to make anything for that. And not to be rude, but I mean, we make our money through the commissions that we earn through the cruise partners. So yeah, so if you have a comp one, then just go ahead and book it directly with the cruise line. Have fun. Loving life. Do we see women over 50 traveling solo often? Yeah. In fact, I got a bunch of them that are my clients. Yeah, actually we do. And what we find, like one of my clients, she went solo on Holland America and met a bunch of women on the ship. And now they're kind of like traveling together. So I do see that happening a lot where solo travelers, even couples like ourselves, we'll meet other people. And then you're like, hey, you know what? We had such a fun time. And while you're on the ship, you start looking at other cruises. So yeah, so we do see them traveling solo often. In fact, there are entire websites devoted to solo traveling as a woman. And yeah, we'd be more than happy to help you out with that. We can steer you towards some of those resources if you'd like. But yeah, I think one of our clients is over 80 years old, something like that. But yeah, I know we've got a bunch of them. Obviously, just like anything else, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. You want to make sure that you're in groups. Like Stephanie, very often, our dear friend Stephanie, she's not over 50. So I'm not saying that she is. She's not. But you will notice a lot of times when she is out and about on her ship, she's usually with like some people that she's met on the ship, or maybe she's with a tour. Even when she's on her own, she's usually not completely on her own. She might have some folks with her, and that is definitely the way to go. But yeah, absolutely. Hey, Nanny Land Nannies, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. So we're not going to talk about the whole thing with the cruise company because that's all conjecture right now. Until he actually does something, it would be very misguided to go after cruise lines and saying that they don't pay taxes, because they pay billions of dollars of taxes every year to the United States through the cruise ports and everything like that. So they pay a fair amount. Now, Tesla, on the other hand, hasn't paid any taxes in a long time.
But basically, we're talking cruising. We're not talking politics here.
Yeah. So you spent 6 days in Rome and you still didn't see anything. I mean, how could you possibly see everything in 6 days? Think about Orlando. Spend 6 days in Orlando. I mean, you could barely see all of Universal now with Epic Universe. And that's just like one little area. 6 days in Disney World. You just barely see all of it. I mean, keep in mind, Disney World is big. So yeah, 6 days anywhere is not near enough. So yeah, and that's why we go back, right? Oh, you're welcome, Robbie. Hey, if we can ever help you with anything, just reach out. But yeah, when it comes to that comp stuff, and like I said, I don't like to be rude, but we don't charge for our services. Now, there are some people, there are some travel agents that, they'll charge like $125, $250, whatever it is, planning fee and things like that. We don't do that. We never had to pay a fee. We had a travel agent for, like almost 20 years until we became travel agents ourselves. We never had to pay that person a fee. And so we're trying to, I don't want to say pay it forward, but that's just, that's how we did it for 20 years. So that's what we're trying to do now for our clients. So yeah, but if you have a comp cruise, absolutely go ahead and take it. Yeah, absolutely. Any cool thing to do in downtown Disney, going for 6 hours before your flight downtown? So you're talking about California. Downtown Disney is California. Disney Springs is Florida. So I assume you're talking about California. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great places to eat for sure. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of great shopping there. I don't know what attractions are there. I know Disney Springs is a lot better. Like Disney Springs has Splitsville. We've got Cirque du Soleil. We've got the little aqua cars. Oh, it is Disney Springs. Okay, so yeah, so Disney Springs, you got Splitsville. That's the bowling alley. You got the movie theater. If you got 6 hours, you certainly go see a movie, a fabulous movie theater. You got the little aqua cars that go out into the lake. Sometimes there'll be a show going on in the bandstand.
Usually weekends, mostly.
Yeah, lots of eating. Of course, if you haven't gotten your Disney fix yet, and you still need some gifts or something, or just want something for yourself, the World of Disney is the largest Disney store in the world, at least according to them. And you got what is the name of that? Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw ice cream is really, really good. What else is over there? There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff to eat. I mean, Disney Springs is fabulous because it's free. You don't have to pay anything to get in. So there's a lot of stuff just to kind of entertain yourself. But yeah, I mean, like you got 6 hours, certainly go see a movie. And Splitsville. certainly fun. I mean, it's got really good food and it got bowling. So come on. Is Universal still getting in the cruise business? I think that was just all conjecture. I mean, I did that video on it because it kind of came out as a rumor. No more rumors since. So I don't know. Obviously, Universal is not going to talk about the cruise industry whatsoever when they got Epic about to open on May 22nd. So all of their energy is Epic, 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 Epic. I think if they were to talk about cruising at all, it would either be at the end of this year or possibly next year, because they don't want to take anything away from Epic. All the focus is on Epic, and rightfully so. My goodness. If you're not subscribed to Theme Park Stop on YouTube, subscribe to her. She's doing a fabulous job. There's this person, I don't know who bio-reconstructed, but they keep flying a drone over it. And then Elisa does these great updates, like weekly updates. I've been having so much fun watching this park like get constructed. I actually want to go back to the original video she did probably 2 years ago, and then watch the latest one. It is crazy. So yeah, if you want to know everything about Universal, go check that out. Betty is looking forward to the European trip. You're signing up today. I know, because I booked you last night. Betty, you're already booked. Betty actually sent me a note on Facebook with the specific cabin that she wanted. So I just went ahead and grabbed it last night, Betty. You've already got that cabin that you asked for.
Surprise.
The beautiful sunset veranda. Those are the best cabins on any ship. The aft cabin, that's what we had on the Islander. That's what we're going to have on Princess, Emerald Princess. I don't know if we'll have it on this ship, but I would definitely
We haven't really decided what we're doing.
No, we haven't decided what we're doing yet on that one. So Fast Frank saw the aqua boats. They are pretty cool. They're a little expensive, but they are pretty cool. One of our neighbors used to have them. These are actual cars that were sold back in the 50s. They were aqua cars. They've got propellers on the back. One of our neighbors actually had one and would drive it around the lake from time to time. So I was really excited to that one. So, Art's Homecoming. If you're going to Disney Spring, Homecoming, Chef Art Smith, Homecoming. It's really hard to get into, but it is an amazing, amazing restaurant. So yeah, Frank. I mean, I remember seeing that car, man, as a kid. We would come up near the lake, and the reason why I remember it so distinctly was because it was always pulled straight into the driveway, and you could see the propellers on the back of it. And I'm like, wow, Dad, what is that? And Dad's like, oh, it's an aqua car. And then there they are running around Disney in aqua cars. So I do need to do that. They're a little expensive. I will admit that they are a little bit expensive over at Disney, but it's something you can do. So, so one more time, I've got a meeting coming up soon. So let's just go through the cruises really, really quick. We've got Hawaii, February 4th through the 20th, 2026. We're going to be on the Emerald Princess. Come join us. We're going to Alaska this June 26th through July 8th on the Oceana Riviera. Only 1,200 passengers, 12 nights, round trip from Seattle. We've got 8 ports, up to 14 hours in port, including 12 hours in Victoria. It's going to be beautiful. Lido Loca is going to Canada and New England in October of this year. Enchanted Princess. Beautiful ship. That's a Royal Class ship. That's going to be October 11th through the 18th, 2025, round trip from New York. They're sailing out of Philadelphia, April 16th through the 23rd. First sailing out of Philadelphia in like 20, 30 years. It's going to be on the Norwegian Jewel, April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. Rebecca and I will be waving to all of y'all from the Brilliant Lady. We're going to be on the Brilliant Lady October 3rd through the 16th, 2025. It's going to be like her 5th cruise. We will be sailing out of Quebec, coming all the way down to Miami. 13 nights on the Brilliant Lady, people. You're going to have a chance to try every restaurant multiple times. Remember, all the food's included, gratuities are included, Wi-Fi is included, soft drinks are included, and group exercise classes are included. All of that is included in the cruise fare.
And we still don't know what they're going to do with Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah, we still don't know what Razzle Dazzle is going to be. We don't know what the shows are yet either. So, and we do have some extra OBC and bar tab specials if they're still running, because the bar tab is going to go away. We just announced today Best of Italy and Croatia on the celebrity. Oh, I got a celebrity ship right here. It looks kind of like this. The Celebrity Constellation, which is one of their smaller ships, only 2,100 passengers. So a very small ship. We're at Best of Italy and Croatia, October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and Civitavecchia. That's going to be a 10-night cruise, and then if you want to stay on with us, we're gonna take the 15-night transatlantic from Civitavecchia over to San Juan, which is going to be a heck of a lot of fun with multiple stops in Spain. That's everything going on with us. We've got like too many group cruises, and people still want more. They're still like, hey, when are you doing river cruises? River cruises are coming. River cruises are coming. I think we actually have too many group cruises right now. We've got a lot.
Yes.
So yeah, we've got a lot. We're not going to be announcing any more group cruises for a little while. But if you want to create your own, certainly that's how this whole that's how we ended up on the Brilliant Lady, September 10th through the 15th. This group approached us and said, hey, we want to do this big group. So it's going to be around 300 people, something like that, on the Brilliant Lady for a user conference. When we were on Valiant Lady, Lennox Heating and Air was on there with 300 people. So cruise ships are a great way to do conferences and meetings and stuff.
And you can have, depending on the cruise line, it can be anywhere from 5 cabins to 10 cabins will constitute a group.
That's a group.
So, if you're doing a family reunion.
Yeah, family reunion. You got people wanting to yoga together. You got bicyclists. You got painting. There's like so many things that you can do. Photography would be great.
Marshall groups.
It's the price of a group cruise cheaper. Sometimes it's lower cost, and then sometimes there's added amenities. So in the case of our European group next year, the price of the stateroom with celebrities all-included package can be up to $600 cheaper than if you buy it directly through Celebrity. So in that case, yes. But sometimes it's about the amenities that you get on board as well. But very often, I won't say very often, it's like I'd say about 50-50. Sometimes it's a cheaper rate, sometimes it's just the amenities. But with this particular, our Hawaii cruise, we have group rates. Tony's Enchanted Princess, we have group rates.
Actually, I thought the group rates were gone.
No, the Enchanted Princess, not Lido Loca. The Enchanted Princess.
Oh.
Not Philly.
I thought you gave those cabins back, but you still have group rates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still have group rates.
Okay.
So, and then in Celebrity, with Europe, we have group rate, but only if you get the all-included package. The standard rate is just a prevailing rate. So yeah, so sometimes it is, but you get the cruise with a group of people. Margaritaville at sea, we will never have rates like that again, ever. That was like the best group rates we will ever get. Those of you who came with us on a Margaritaville Islander, you got a steal. That was the best. And then all the extra stuff that they threw on the ship. I mean, 25% off the stores. The
discounts on photos,
free photos, discounts on photos. We got so much stuff from Margaritaville. We will never get that much stuff again. That was amazing. So those of you who came with us for Valentine's Day, you got one of the best group cruises ever. Ever. So, all right, folks. So we need to run because I've got a call at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for joining in. This Thursday night, I didn't even talk about it. This Thursday night, we got Crystal Cruises coming on the show. Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We have to go back a half an hour for her. But the all-new Crystal Cruises, they're back. So they're going to be joining us on Thursday night. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. And we will be back here. We'll be back here next Sunday morning, and then we'll be with Crystal Cruises on Thursday night. Have a great Sunday, everybody.